do it live.
Live. Yes.
Do it live.
I feel like you're mixing your memes there.
I know he is. Is that okay? I mean, you can't mix. You're not supposed to mix metaphors, even though that's a meme in and of itself now. But anyway, man, we got a huge.
Who's
show.
really keeping track nowadays?
I mean, it's a huge show. I think Andy.
I'm keeping a running tally, but no.
We're not even really going to do a segment one unless Dave really, really, really wants to talk about Ahsoka, and I'm cool with that. But
no, we can let it go. I haven't seen either one of the Loki episodes either, so.
Oh well, that's fine.
I'm not good on that.
All right, so Ahsoka is over. I'm deleting that, but we are still going to talk about Ahsoka. Loki because this I finally figured out what was going on. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that.
That's good.
And then it's just a whole bunch of freaking news, man. Just so much news.
Yep, New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think we should just roll into it early, and I think Andy's going to show up. He'll show up.
Well, I mean, we got a few minutes. I mean, while we're waiting on him, I did go see a couple of movies this week.
Oh, what'd you see?
I went to go see. These are both from several weeks ago, but I did go see The Creator, and I went to go see.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I went to go see Equalizer 3.
Oh yeah, I thought you had mentioned Equalizer 3. Maybe you said you were just going to go see.
I was thinking about it, and I had I had a couple of days off this week, so I'm like, sure, why not? But Dave, you went to go Creator. What did you think?
I heard it was like one of the best sci-fi movies ever.
It definitely was not.
It was very interesting about its approach to AI. Whereas the Western approach was basically Terminator, but the Eastern approach to it was like, hey, this is a companion for humanity.
I guess.
Well, yeah, Steven Spielberg did that in AI. I mean, wasn't this just kind of like AI meets the Matrix?
It had a lot of good ideas, and I liked it. I said I'd probably coming in a little negative there more than I needed to, but I liked it, but I didn't love it. Okay, I'm frustrated by this movie because it was so close to being really good, but it didn't give its plot time to breathe. Like, our main character is just pinballing from one situation to a next, and
he is kind of rapid fire and going from one bad
situation to another. It doesn't feel believable where he's developed this bond with his child. That was the emotional core of the movie, and I didn't believe it. This would have been better as a TV show. This needed to be something where the characters had time to breathe and develop.
It would. Yeah, I do agree that if it was more episodic, like a 12-part series or a 12-part season.
Hell, a 6-part series would have been fine. It just needed more time. It clocks in at 2 hours, and honestly, this needed to at least be a 3-hour movie, if not a TV show.
They are covering a lot of stuff in this movie, though. I mean, it goes...
That's exactly my point, is that it's trying to cram 3 hours of movie into 2 hours.
It's trying to cram about 60 years of AI development.
I know people bitch about 3-hour runtimes, but sometimes the story should be as long as it needs to be, and this needed to be longer.
But overall, it wasn't a bad movie. I mean,
or a show. It could be a good show.
It was Gareth Edwards, right?
Director's cut.
Yes, I believe it was Gareth Edwards.
He doesn't make bad movies.
It's not a bad movie. It's just
not a bad movie.
It was so close to being a great movie, and it's just kind of it's visually stunning. And I do love all like you were saying, the lore and everything is pretty cool, and all the designs for the robots are pretty cool. But it was so close to being great, and it wasn't, and that just it leaves me really frustrating. And I guess you can compare that with the Equalizer 3, where that was just a mediocre movie, but they were aiming low and hit the target. Right. So that's kind of an interesting comparison. One who had this really good ambition, it was really close to being great, but it fell short.
One of them was just action.
Yeah, and the other one was just let's get Denzel Washington to kill some mafiosos, and that's all that it is, but it's not trying to be anything more than that.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, was like The Creator. It takes a whole lot of different elements or borrows a lot of different elements from a lot of the the different sci-fi genres. Because there is a Terminator element in there, but there's also a Chappie element in there. And
it was
Blade Runner.
It was it was okay. So that's I think the most pertinent comparison. It's not as good as Blade Runner.
No,
it is a more visually stunning but narratively inferior version of Blade Runner.
Cool. All right, well, let's do this damn thing, y'all. Cool that you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
certainly does suck.
Woo! Man, you guys, man, it's a lot of news. We might have to like fly through top 3 this week, just real quick.
I don't have a soliloquy to put in my books this week, so that should be fine.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. They were good, but I don't have one, I have a lot to say. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. Another episode of this Geek and Comics Outbreak Series Comic Book Shit Talk Show. Usually we don't dive right into segment 1, so we have some breathing room. But I mean, now we have the news. That's so awkward. I know, right? That's so
basically
awkward.
Already did segment 1 anyway.
Yeah, in the pre-show, just because there's so much to talk about. But first, we start off with sad news.
We covered segment 1.
What?
I said, yeah, we covered segment 1.
Yeah, Keith Given has passed away at the age of 70. Rocket Raccoon, Lobo co-creator. He'll be missed. His work is legendary and will live on for freaking ever. I mean, in just the biggest ways possible. Rocket Raccoon will always be a character for Disney now. You know what I mean? They're never gonna get rid of Marvel, and Rocket is like a standout character, and the rumor is Lobo is going to be that, and James Gunn's thing.
Yeah, apparently, Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo. So that's
which is
Lobo.
So. Yeah, which is weird. But he posted this, in fashion. I told him I was sick. Anything to not go to Comic-Con. I mean, that's literally how his Facebook page announced his passing. Which you got to admit, that's going out, with a laugh and fun. And look at the characters we're talking about: Rocket Raccoon and Lobo. The dude was obviously somebody who. Like to have fun in life if you're going to create shit like that, and so R.I.P. He will, definitely be missed. So, all right, yeah, we definitely had to mention that, just a legend. But New York Comic Con was this week, and there is huge news. We're starting over at Dynamite. Why? Because I think Dynamite made the biggest waves at Comic Con, and it's low key as fuck. So a year or two ago, they have all these Disney properties that Disney just don't fucking want no more. They don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? If they put out these kids' books and these all ages reads and this shit based on, I mean, look, Lilo and Stitch.
The Disney animated afternoon, essentially.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but they're also doing Maleficent and Scar. These villains books that is a
fun
good.
Justice League International homage cover there,
dude. That's why I picked that one. Yes, it is awesome, but. I mean, they're doing big things with that. Again, they did have that Darkwing Duck, the Disney villains, all that. But now Sweeney Boo and Marani Puglia are going to do Cruella de Vil. I mean, honestly, without even a debate, she's the worst Disney villain of all time. She was going to kill a bunch of puppies. You can't get crueler than that. I don't care what you were going to do. What else? For fashion. Yeah, for fashion. That you can't. Yeah. Anyway. The Darkwing Duck Justice Ducks, it's going to be an event. There's a Gargoyles crossover event of some kind coming. They didn't have much on that. Greg Pak and Julia Giacomina are teaming up for this Lilo and Stitch book. That's all big news, but they've also confirmed that they are doing WB properties too now. Flintstones, Powerpuff Girls, Space Ghost, Johnny Quest, Wizard of Oz, and others, yes, including the fucking Thundercats. Declan Shalvey and Drew Moss is going to be on that book.
I didn't know Thundercats was WB.
I didn't think WB. I didn't think. Well, I know they had a 2 reboots within the last decade on Cartoon Network, but I didn't think WB had the rights to it.
That's the news I read. That either way they're going to be
doing. I thought Flintstones was Hanna-Barbera.
It is, but that's owned by WB as well.
Is it
Hanna-Barbera? Yeah,
really.
If you remember, Mark Russell did that dope Flintstones book a few years back.
But
they're the ones who do all. Well, all those Hanna-Barbera characters were printed on DC Comics, right? Because WB owns both. They own Hanna-Barbera. They own DC.
Yeah, but just
I did not know they had Thundercats though.
Yeah, but and that's the news that I read. So I didn't realize that either. But hey, whatever. That doesn't really matter. I think it is low key amazing how Dynamite is filling a niche by picking up the big 2 scrap. You know what I mean? And turning it into awesome, dude. There's
doing some good poaching here. They're picking up some. Yeah.
They're picking up a lot of what would have gone to IDW, really.
Mm-hmm. they really do feel like they're filling in where IDW has sort of dropped a little bit. But I mean, with that said, IDW still has some amazing licenses, as does Dark Horse. But
now I was a generation removed from the '80s cartoons that you guys love so very much. They did show a bunch of reruns on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, so I did see a lot of Thundercats. But this perhaps isn't catering to my nostalgia quite as much as it is for you guys.
Now you say that, and with that said, I agree with you 100%. But I mean, look at that Transformers book. You're kind of away from that as well, and that that's
Transformers never left
because
though.
Of the creator. That's like, mostly because
I am mostly there for Daniel Warren Johnson, but Transformers has stayed relevant in a way that Thundercats really hasn't. This is still pretty cool, and that is a rad ass looking cover there with Lion-O and Mumra and everything there on the right, but
that's very like
and honestly the one on left ain't bad either, but it looks very airbrushed on a van look, the one on the right there,
right. So we're not sure what to expect from this, except that it's going to be taking its cues from the original '80s show origin story, sort of a retelling there. Different updated takes on characters and their relationships.
And it is also true that Declan Shelby is a pretty good name to attach to it.
Oh, for sure. That's another thing they're picking up. Sweeney Boo on the Cruella book is perfect. Greg Pak doing the Lilo and Stitch. Greg Pak doing Lilo and Stitch. He's kind of perfect for that. And also Garth Ennis is coming back to do a 007 series. We had almost no news on that, but it is confirmed. So Dynamite, bravo. I think they won the fucking con in terms of comic book news. It was just amazing shit.
I don't know how I feel about Garth Ennis doing 007. I mean, is he going to just start off like face deep in a big old table of cocaine or some shit?
Dude, that would be
fantastic.
I am there for it, dude. It's going to be freaking great. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, moving on. Ghost Machine image imprint. There's a new imprint, and this story and the next story are kind of intertwined, and then we really get into the meat of
it's the Geiger verse, people.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to place that. Yeah, that's Geiger there.
So Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, Gary Frank, Hitch, Jason Fabok, Peter J. Tomasi, Francis Manipool, Gary Frank, Maitel Jute, Lamont Maggi, Brad Meltzer, and Jeff Johns. That is the Ghost Machine team, okay? All creators are exclusive to Ghost Machine beyond commitments to pre-existing titles. That's the big word here for this story and the next one.
That is a big deal because, Jeff Johns leaving DC in a sense, yeah.
That is what, except for pre-existing titles. So,
sure, again, but once he's done with, Justice Society and stuff that he's doing right now, he's out.
Yeah. So the team released a statement, all right? And now, again, this is just an Image Comics imprint for all intents and purposes. But our ambition for Ghost Machine is to push beyond superheroes, introducing new genres, characters, and shared universes, completely co-owned by all the creators involved. We see this as the future of how creatives will work and retain creative control and meaningfully participate in success like never before. Our passion is for the magic of graphic storytelling and the emotional resonance of compelling characters. But we are not just a comic book company. This is the deal. We are the first wholly creator-owned and operated media company of its kind. So this is basically like Image 2.0. What Image did for comics back in the 90s, Ghost Machine is looking to do in the same sort of breath, comics, but even going further with the creators.
But for all the adaptations.
Get them adaptations on Netflix.
Board games.
That being said, we've kind of heard this before, right? You mentioned Image, and Substack was supposed to be this just a couple years ago,
You're right, dude. You're absolutely right. But Ghost Machine, maybe Substack was like proof of concept.
Maybe.
And having the backing of a full-on publisher that's pushing out dozens of titles every week is helpful.
Sure, yeah.
So we get the Unnamed spinning out of Johns and Frank's pre-existing Geiger and Junkyard Joe. We get Rook Exodus, which is a sci-fi thing from Jason Fabok. The Family Odysseys, centering on a time-displaced family. That's the Jason Fabok one, the Rook Exodus. Peter J. Tomasi and Francis Manipool, the Rocket Fellers, and a horror universe created by a creator who's part of the Ghost Machine Collective, but remaining under wraps because, according to
Alan
Image,
Moore.
they are under exclusive contracts somewhere else right now.
Alan Moore.
Is Alan Moore
Alan
under
Moore
exclusive
is not
contract?
exclusive contract
Yeah,
anywhere.
no.
No, he's not. So this is
Horror
great,
writer-
dude.
Horror writer on exclusive contract. Wouldn't that be like Joe
Ram
Joe
V,
Hill?
maybe? Ram V, I think, is currently
maybe.
exclusive. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be great to see.
Joe Hill's a horror writer working over.
He's
at
not
DC.
under contract anywhere either. He's done creator-owned stuff at IDW, very notably. But yeah, I don't want to guess. This is just a really good thing. Now let's go into the second story. Okay, because these two stories are linked. Image and Giant Generator. We did have the story that Rick Remender is now exclusive to Image Comics, but now he has signed 12 A-list creators to be exclusive to his imprint at Image Comics. Daniel Acuna, Andre Lima Araujo, Paul Azazeta, Bengal, Roland Bashi, Max Fiumara, Mike Hawthorne, J.G. Jones, Francesco Mobili, Brett Parson, Yannick Paquette, and Greg Tocchini are all signing exclusive contracts with this Image imprint. I mean, I have some looks and descriptions of the books, but that is really not important. What I think is really important here is that what has happened in Hollywood, okay, what the comic book industry has done with, comics killed me or whatever that hashtag was, I think this is what we're seeing come from all of these folks getting pissed off that the thing that they love is being turned into something that is not great anymore. You know what I mean? They're taking like the power back in a way by not really forming a union, but in a way, yes, unionizing. By signing these exclusives, going to Image Comics and saying, this is what we're going to do. We want all the power. And Image says, we don't give a shit what you do. Just make good comics, that are going to sell for us. So, man, I'm really stoked about both of those stories. I mean, we can look at these. Grommets looks cool. I mean, the art in this book just looks amazing. I love the look to that art. That's Bengal, I think, of course, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that other book was Napalm Lullaby. Yeah, it's Rick Remender and Bengal are doing Napalm Lullaby. And then there's Grommets by Rick Remender, Brian Posen, and Brett Parson. Yeah, so a lot of great books there. Really cool. We got first comment. Oh, happy Sunday. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Thanks for coming by.
Hey, Jeff.
But the big question coming out of this, who the hell going to draw for Marvel and DC now? I mean, that's a list in just those two articles of like 20 artists who now are working on their own exclusive stuff with people behind them who are going to, make these books work in adaptations, in a different way.
I'm not entirely convinced of
fairness. It feels like there's a lot more fairness.
I think the union comparison is pretty apt because honestly, I don't expect that these guys will never work for the big two again. But this could give them leverage to get like better rates,
contracts.
better contracts.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
So that hopefully is hopefully that's the fallout from all of this. But I guess we'll see.
The best part about it is we get dope comics all along the way. You know what I mean? That's the best part.
New original dope comics.
Yeah, and all these people working together and working on something that they're making a big deal out of just adds to their excitement, and I'm sure we're going to see that in the work. So, I can't wait. All right, I know where you want to go, Taylor. You want to go to DC and Marvel. We're getting there. Elseworlds is back.
Oh, no, I mean, this is all good stuff.
Oh, no, I know. That's not the one I wanted to show. Elseworlds is back. DC Comics has made it official that they're doing 6 new
Elseworlds that's Gotham by Gaslight right there.
It is. This is Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age, 12-issue series by Andy Diggle and Leandro Fernandez. Expands on the mysterious and gothic world created by Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola. beyond the confines of Gotham City, introducing DC's greatest heroes as they come together for the first time to form a 19th century Justice League.
Justice League by Gaslight.
That
That's
sounds fun.
cool.
It does.
That's cool.
But
as they unite against the greatest threat the world has ever known, they will learn their world's secret Kryptonian history. Dun, dun, dun.
That seems like they're doing two things that have nothing to do with each other. Like, the Victorian Justice League, but also there's like a Kryptonian angle to it. I don't know about that. But that being said, I fucking love Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah, it's dope.
It's weird to see someone other than Mike Mignola drawing it, but this looks rad as hell, I will say.
Yeah, it would have been great
if
they brought Mike Mignola in. Yeah. Dave, you like Gotham by Gaslight?
It's been a while since I read it, but yes.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, here's a good one. Another Elseworlds book. Batman the Barbarian.
I thought this was like that Grant Morrison Caveman Batman, but no, that's more medieval, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They are trying to jump on that Conan train.
They really should. It's that. I mean,
I don't think I ever read Sword and Sorcery Batman, except for Dark Knights of Steel that we were just reading.
We'll talk about that.
More reminiscent to like when Batman was quantum leaping his way back.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that was dope, dude.
That started off with him as like a caveman. That's what I thought this was at first. But yeah, it's definitely in that same like kind of energy, I think.
Yeah, that started right after Darkest Night, dude.
Yeah,
Blackest Night or whatever it was.
Night.
Yeah, it was
Final Crisis.
That was an awesome time for comics, man.
That was after Final Crisis.
Well, no, I thought they knew that Batman was missing because he didn't come, or was time displaced.
He got killed by Darkseid in Final Crisis, and so
right. But then they realized
killed, yeah.
Yeah, but they realized that he wasn't dead at the end.
Not too long after that. I don't think
Blackest Night.
I don't know that was Blackest Night.
Because they were like, man, Bruce, we didn't see Bruce.
Well, that was when they were doing Dick Grayson as Batman. They did that for a while, so it might have spanned that whole time.
No, that's when that guy that worked for Necron had the skull of Batman that was giving out the black rings.
Oh, man, see,
that was Blackest Night. Final Crisis is when Batman did die. Darkseid did kill him.
Taylor said that.
Yeah.
Taylor said that. Man, that's my bad. I don't know. All right, so drawn by.
I forgot how long the Dick Grayson was. I forgot how long they milked that Batman is Dead era. So I think we're both right. Yeah.
Yeah, they did for a freaking while. All right, so there you go. Medieval Earth.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, this thing looks cool. Yeah, I love
this looks fun, dude.
You're right to say like Conan, David, because that definitely is like giving like some old like E.G. Burroughs like vibes here.
Yeah. All right, now Jay Kristoff and Tirso Khans are now writing a Dark Knights of Steel book called All Winter, 6-issue series. In the new series, the snow falls thick, blood runs black, and color itself is only a distant memory. The legendary assassin Deathstroke stalks a frozen wasteland, killing for coin among a nation of ever-warring Jarls. But when our murderer for hire finds himself cast in the role of a reluctant guardian, will he fight to end the icy curse destroying his land or be consumed by the sins of his dark past? So it's Norse mythology set in Tom Taylor's world of...
Yeah, it's Dark Knights of Steel Skyrim edition,
Yeah, right. And this looks okay. I'm not really a big fan of that character.
There's a very Odin aesthetic to this.
I do like Viking Deathstroke. Yeah. That does look cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And it works.
Yeah, it really does. All right, next we have Green Lantern Dark, a 7-issue series by Tate Brombell and Werther Dell'Edera. Reimagine the DC universe as a dark fantasy wasteland where monsters overrun a post-apocalyptic Earth. The battle between good and evil ended long ago. Now darkness prevails as humanity struggles to survive on a corrupted planet. Only one hero remains, the one who wields the green flame that can return light to a dark world, the Green Lantern. So
this is Noctera. With Green Lantern.
Yeah, it sounds like. Well, I don't know. It's like a fantasy world though, so I'm expecting like monsters and shit.
There were monsters in Noctera.
Well, not those kind of monsters, not sci-fi monsters, like fantasy monsters. But I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from that. I mean, that sounds okay. And then they got Batman Nightfire, 6-issue series by Clay and Seth Mann. What happens when twin brothers slaying Clef Man are turned loose in Gotham City? They burn it down. A lot of action. What secrets does this Batman hold so tight that he would watch Gotham be reduced to ashes? What truths are exposed when there is nowhere left to hide? Batman Nightfire is a story of obligation and the ultimate burden that promises to set the Batman world ablaze. Yeah, I don't know about that. This sounds like a Batman story. Why is this not like Black Label?
I don't know. It seems like it should
weird.
be, yeah.
It's like they're mixing
until this point, I had pretty much considered a lot of the Black Label Batman stuff to be Elseworlds.
I mean, that's
It absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no other way
basically Black Label at this point is just replace the Vertigo imprint, you know? Like it's just or Elseworlds. Yeah, where they just like do whatever the fuck they want and it's not in canon, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The last one is a 12-issue series by Rosenberg and Otto Schmidt. It's DC versus Vampires extension. So now that is officially on the Elseworlds title, or Elseworlds imprint. It was not previously on the Black Label imprint though. So I guess that kind of works out.
Okay, so I recognize Harley, Zealot, and Damien there. Who's the nun?
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
I don't
Barbara
know.
Gordon, Queen of the Vampires, is in the solicit, but I don't think that's her.
Don't look like her, no.
That wouldn't be Cassandra Cain, would it?
Maybe. I don't know.
She looks badass.
If that is her, I don't know when she became a nun, but
well, it's Elseworlds.
This looks rad though. Like you're giving them like a Mad Max car and they're fighting vampires. That sounds fun as hell.
And
I'm sure it'll be dumb fun if nothing else. You know?
Yeah, this is DC versus Vampires World War V. So there already was, one of these.
Yeah.
And it was the first chapter in a larger war for the fate of the Earth. So
that kind of came and went and didn't really pay too much attention to it.
I heard it was good. Now that they're doing this, I kind of want to go back and kind of check it out.
I mean, it did well enough to spawn a sequel. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Superman. Superman has some news. It's a new initiative centered around the Man of Steel called Superman Superstars. It's going to take place in Action Comics throughout 2024. Basically, it's going to be like 2 stories in each issue and then 3 issues for like the whole story. You know what I mean? So the big news is artist John Timms will be joined by Jason Aaron. A 3-issue story titled I, Bizarro, running in Action Comics 1061 through 1063. I love that final cover there where I just love that so much. I really like their relationship a whole lot in everything they've ever done. They've never fucked up Lois and Clark's relationship ever.
Yes, I appreciate the hell out of the fact that they have never except for Bendis kind of doing it a little bit, but they've never just let's hit the reset button on that relationship. Except for I guess when they did the new continuity where he was dating Wonder Woman for a minute. Yeah, they got the hell away from that because I think they recognized that this is a relationship you do not fuck up. This is the most iconic romantic relationship in comics,
Yeah, for sure, dude. But it looks like he's going to be Jason Aaron's going to be doing a Bizarro story. That's cool.
Man, you had me at Jason. He could be writing a story about fucking Jimmy Olsen going to the grocery store, and I am fucking here for it,
Yeah, dude. I think it's going to be great. Philip Kennedy Johnson, who did Action since 2021, is going to wrap up in time for 1061. But they'll be done with the story in only 3 issues because and this is the big story. I mean, Jason Aaron, Marvel's flagship writer for, a decade or more, being on, Superman, the most iconic character at the main competition, is a pretty big deal. Well, it's a tie, but he's already doing a Batman story. We talked about that a month ago. But the real plan for Action is to really switch it up in 2024. Aaron's issues are only the first phase of what the publisher is calling Superman Superstars. The project will pair celebrated writers and artists for can't miss Superman stories throughout 2024. Joshua Williamson and Rafa Sandoval are going to be working on the Action Comics Superman crossover covering the return of Brainiac, who has been confirmed. Brainiac is going to be a woman in that story. So, yeah, it seems like there's a lot of moving pieces here, okay? So you're going to have 4 creators for each issue, but only 3 issues for those 4 creators, but they're each telling a different story among those 3 issues. But then Joshua Williamson is going to be telling part of the Superman crossover in Action Comics with Brainiac. I don't know. It seems to me like they want to have their cake and eat it too. We want to have these big names on Superman and shit. But last time we did that, we shot ourselves in the foot, Bendis, and we fucked ourselves up. So now, Joshua Williamson is awesome at it. He's great at writing Superman. So can we put both really big names on a book and have Joshua Williamson continue to do stuff? And DC said, yes, we can.
I hope so. Like,
I'm not sure they can.
I don't think the comparison with Bendis is entirely fair because by the time Bendis is going over to DC, his best years were already behind him.
Now,
that might sound mean, but I think that's pretty undeniable.
Well, and I don't know. I don't want to argue about Jason Aaron because I know you love him, but his Avengers run was not as good as his Thor run. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, the
I don't know if anything could ever be
run of all time. No, it wasn't.
No, but I mean, I didn't care for his Avengers run at all. There were just some parts like the Heroes. It wasn't Heroes in Crisis. Heroes Reborn was pretty damn cool, but where he was basically writing the Justice League. I wish they would give him that book. I know the Justice League are dead right now or on vacation or whatever the fuck happened to them. But
hiatus.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, this is getting his foot in the door, and eventually the Justice League will be back. Maybe that does happen at some point. But that being said, I don't want to rehash his Avengers run with you. I liked it a lot. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
there's no denying that he is in a better place creatively now than Bendis was when he went to DC.
Yes, and I think that's the important takeaway here.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll have more on those books when they come out. Holy shit, I'm very excited. So, all right, we got 2 quick bits for DC. One of them is actually pretty cool. All right, Death in the Family. All right, Batman number 428. This is a famous comic where the Joker murdered the Robin at the time, Jason Todd. He's eventually gone to come back and become Red Hood, and it's just a great character, but it was a big deal. They had a 1-900 number. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, basically it was a toll number. You got charged for calling it, and there were 2 of them. If you wanted Jason to live, you would call one number. If you wanted Jason to die, you would call another number. And by a very slim margin of only like 72 votes. The theory is that like one guy in Milwaukee was the reason that Jason.
That's what I've always heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have always heard that.
Yeah. So with 10,000 votes, Jason Todd died. Okay. Jim Starlin, who's 74 now, God bless him. But the late Jim Aparo did the art on that story, right? But the way shit worked back then, as soon as they knew that the numbers were in, they had to get the story out. So these 2 dudes did 2 different versions. A version where Jason died, obviously, that everybody is aware about. We've all seen the famous crowbar or all that, whatever. And also one where he didn't die. So Batman number 428 is going to be reprinted as a like facsimile, but faux simile, where they're going to put that alternate ending in the book. And
that's pretty interesting.
Cool. I think that's kind of fun, dude.
That is kind of an interesting concept because that could if that does well, we could see other comics do something similar.
Well,
I know that they would never be able to do it, but like, do we get like Marvel versus DC because that was fan voted too? Like, do we get like the other outcomes for those matches?
Yeah,
one where Lobo beats Wolverine, like he damn well should.
Dude, and I would love to see that. I don't think Marvel and DC will ever.
No, there's no way that could ever happen. That was that's the other. That's the other. I think most famous. You decide the outcome.
Yeah, I don't know of any others. I don't know of any others in comics. I mean, the ones that the writers decide are all just what ifs.
Yeah.
What, Dave?
I said not necessarily just the ones where the fans decide, but the alternate.
Well, that's what I mean.
What ifs? But
those are just what ifs. But I mean, I think this is a really unique situation, where they can do this. I don't think there's ever been anything like, having the fans vote on whether a character is murdered or not. I mean,
even if there is some case we're not thinking,
back in the day, man, that shit was weird.
Like, even if there's some case we're not thinking of, then it's never going to match the level that this gets to because this is the most famous instance.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'm anxious to see exactly. I mean, but honestly, where can it go? The point of that book was, oh my god,
this is a neat curiosity. I mean, there's nothing that can come out. This is just going to be like a single issue you pick up where you say like, oh, well, that's kind of neat. But it does seem kind of neat.
I just don't know where they can go with it.
They can't.
Okay, he didn't die. Let's go.
I don't think they're saying that they're going to go anywhere with this. They're just kind of releasing. They have this in the fucking vault somewhere.
On it for 30-something years.
This is a way for them to make some money, but it is kind of a neat thing to pick up. Pay
Starlin for his fucking work on that. I'm just saying. I bet he only got paid for the pages that were fucking published. I'm just saying. If they're publishing those, they should pay his ass. Anyway, there's also a new Constantine book. Nothing on this. It is a black label. It's Cy Spurrier and Aaron Campbell back together. So they've done this. It's called Dead in America. It's available January 16th. December 12th for that Batman book. Yeah, I know. He does really good on.
He does really.
Oh yeah, this seems like a good book for him because like Constantine is one where like okay, so Cy Spurrier can't go up his own ass, but Constantine is the type of character where it's okay to kind of go up your ass a little bit with it.
It works. You know? Yeah, it works. I really think that's what Hickman is doing with that Wind character in Gods. You know, that character is gonna go way up his own ass and already has. You know, kind of in the first issue, but yeah, it just reminds me more and more of Constantine. But anyway, cool. Yep, that's all the DC news now. Marvel did reveal some X-Men stuff. We're getting it's kind of mirrors. It kind of mirrors the original Hickman Krakoan era. We're getting Fall of the House of X #1 of 5. Jerry Duggan and Lucas Warnock, January 3rd. This is all going to be about what's going on now with Orcus in the present day. Rise of the Powers of 10, #1 of 5, Kieran Gillen, RB Silva, out January 10th. This is all going to be about what happens 10 years after Orcus shit on everybody. And Nimrod and Sentinel, whatever her name is, have like a plan within a plan. And I don't know if you remember from the original Powers of 10 or whatever, like they were trying to make humanity become like this singularity consciousness.
Yes, they were trying to.
Talk about up your own ass. But
I think the Phalanx is who they were trying to join with.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's going to be all about the X-Men trying to stop them 10 years in the future. And then, of course, we get the resurrection. Oh, I have these covers, dumbass. Resurrection of Magneto. Al Ewing, Luciano Vecchio, out January 24th. We have no idea how Magneto is going to be resurrected.
Well, it is Al Ewing doing it, though. He was the guy who killed Magneto, so
he probably had a plan.
Yes, this is, even if he didn't, you know, this is one of those things where, like, it doesn't feel like shameless bullshit because the same guy is, like, picking up his own story here, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, there's a couple ways they could do it. You know, it's not like Storm hasn't resurrected people before in different stories. Her and Forge have a famous story where, you know, they did something like that. And that makes the most sense to me. I really think it's going to be some Forge technology that, you know, brings Magneto back. He's got a lot to get filled in, you know, and figure out what's going on. Or who knows, maybe they'll just reset his ass and he'll have no memories. You know, I'd be okay with that too.
Oh, we can get back to have like evil Magneto again. Yeah.
Not only have evil Magneto, but maybe even have a book where Magneto like learns his history, kind of like a Wolverine sort of esque story. You know, I think that'd be okay.
I mean, Al Ewing writing it automatically has me interested. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I love the damn Mark Brooks doing these. You know, all the ones that he's done for these different X-Men things during the Krakoan age has just been wonderful. I hope he does more of them. All right, big news, Marvel. Jed McKay, Pepe Larraz are running the Spring 2024 Marvel event.
It's kind of funny that they're both doing like a vampire thing here at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, vampires are hot, I guess. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure.
Cool. Yeah, vampires are always cool. But this is going to be their big line-wide event. We don't have any other information except that the Avengers writer is writing this, so it makes a little bit of sense that that the Avengers over there on the right side, you know, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Vision, there's Sam, T'Challa's over there in the background.
Yeah.
But then we have Blade, we have Miles over here. I think that's Doctor Strange getting his ass eaten up at one point. Oh, no,
he's not getting his ass eaten up. He's behind Iron Man who's getting his ass eaten up.
Yeah, he's getting his ass eaten up. So, pretty cool. I'm excited for this.
Is that Tigra in the background?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that fucking Tigra hanging out? I love when Tigra shows up.
She just like shows up at the most random times.
She's like the coolest Avenger that way, dude. You know, she does. She just shows up whenever. So again, we don't have any information on this at all, except the creative team. I mean, Pepe Larraz doing an event. I'm down. Jed McKay. And we'll talk about Jed McKay. He is in my top 3 this week, despite me not really enjoying the book he wrote, but it was written beautifully, so it was hard not to. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked for this. I don't know how much of the tie-ins I'm going to get. I really want to know more.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm
I
assuming
love
there's
the
going to be like
vampire shit.
they'll probably tie in with the Avengers book since Jim McKay's writing that too. So
And
I'll
Blade,
probably
is going with
yeah,
Brian Hill right now.
that's
There's no
true.
reason that can't cross
I
over
would
a little
assume this
bit.
is going to be a Blade centric event. I'm assuming he's like more or less our protagonist here.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, it's kind of spinning out of that Blade book.
Maybe
I know that Blade book is. I don't know. That Blade book seems like it's going to be 1, maybe 2 arcs and done. We had Doctor Strange show up and spill all the beans this week. He got a sword now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he has literal Satan sword, so that's kind of
he has
interesting.
the day shine. Some I don't know. That's a great hook though, man. Brian Edward Hill dug deep for that. I love when you bring in religious stuff too into your horror. Oh, I'm a sucker for that shit. I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. So, yeah. All right, finally, the biggest news: the Ultimate Universe is back. We knew it was. Ultimate Universe #1 by Jonathan Hickman and Stefano Caselli drops on November 1st, but they announced books and creative teams for the other ones. We're gonna get 3 to start. Hickman is doing Spider-Man #1 with Marco Cicchetto on January 10th. That's a long way. But damn, Marco Cicchetto is a great Spider-Man artist. I cannot wait to see what Hickman does with Spider-Man. It's not like he hasn't written the character before in one version or another in an event or, something here or there. But, oh, man, this is going to be great, dude. There's really nothing to the solicit, It's just, hey, Spider-Man's back,
Yeah, there's just announcing creative teams for all these and titles, but I'll be damned if like some of these don't already have me,
Oh, I'm had. Ultimate Black Panther #1. First time Black Panther has ever gotten an Ultimate book. He was.
I was about to say, I don't think they ever did Ultimate Black Panther before.
He didn't have any dialogue. He was a side
Black
character.
Panther is a lot bigger now than he was when they were originally doing Ultimate Universe.
That is exactly what is in my notes. This is going to be written by Brian Hill. We were just talking about on that Blade book, and Stefano Caselli is going to be doing the art. I think that's right. Does that seem right? That does not seem right. That is a misprint. No, I guess it is Caselli.
It looks like it could be his, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to seeing him draw Black Panther, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's doing the. Well, anyway, in the
wake of a lot of Spider-Man,
Yeah, in the wake of Ultimate Invasion, Khonshu and Ra, the force known together as Moon Knight, are seeking to expand their brutal control of the continent of Africa. In response, the lone bulwark against them, the isolated nation of Wakanda, will send forth its champion, its king, the Black Panther. Brian Hill Caselli, bold new take. And they have quotes about, oh, I love doing this. I love, making.
Man, Black Panther going to go beat up some gods sounds pretty fun.
It does, and I love that cover with Ra and Khonshu's little signs in the back. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That also gives us an Ultimate Moon Knight, which I'm pretty sure is never been a thing either.
They had him in Ultimate Spider-Man, but he never had his own book. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't do shit in that, barely, right? Not that I remember.
He tried to blow up a school, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Okay, and I think the biggest
Ultimate Spider-Man was like the only consistently good Ultimate book, so I remember that one reasonably well.
Yeah, man, Ultimate X-Men just had such creative teams on it, such good teams, and it just never got good. It was so bad.
Well, they kept writing themselves into corners by having like the shittiest versions of the characters, and like they would kill people off and just have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, the biggest news I think out of the Ultimate news, Peach Momoko is writing and doing the art on Ultimate X-Men.
I thought that looked like Peach Momoko's art.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to mistake her. Yeah.
Yeah. So the story is in Japan when a young student named Hisako Ichiki develops armor powers.
Yep.
Armor. She discovers she's a mutant, and she's not the only one. Meet a new generation of mutants filled with original and familiar X-Men characters. Together, they'll learn what it means to be mutant in the Ultimate Universe as they explore their emerging powers and the startling ways they connect to folklore, legend, and magic.
So it sounds like she's kind of working with that same energy she's been doing for her Demon Days books.
Yeah. So I'm okay if this is like part of like the Momoko verse. I'm not even sure if we should call it that.
Yeah.
But it has to be able to also stand on its own as a part of an overall universe. And I'm not, completely against mutants being associated with folklore, legend, and magic. There are a lot of shit already part of mutants that lean into folklore, legend, and magic.
Yeah.
But I'm really anxious to see. I think the thing I'm most anxious for is who's going to be on the team. I know we're going to get Armor, a new take on Armor, but she can just pick any legend she wants. Just her pick of any.
It looks like there might be like Wolverine slash marks back there with like the eyes peering out.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Wolverine
But anyway,
and Armor were on that astonishing team together.
Yeah,
I love them on that team, man.
Yeah, like Armor is one of his surrogate daughters, like one of his like a dozen surrogate daughters.
I mean, we can't even Jubilee, Rogue for like 30 seconds.
Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde. Oh my god.
Kitty's probably the most iconic one.
Yeah. But yeah, really cool. I'm stoked for the Ultimate Universe. I'm probably gonna read all these, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm really gonna lean into that Marvel.
They have some really impressive creative teams. I mean, if nothing else, like Cochetto drawing Spider-Man and Peach Momoko drawing the X-Men, that alone is probably going to be worth the price of admission.
Yeah, and Brian Hill's making a name. Well, making a name. He's had a name, but every once in a while he's like,
he's no slouch. Absolutely, yeah.
And then drops off the radar for a while, and then is right back on top. So, I think he does movies and stuff too. So, but yeah, Ultimate Comics are back, and I'm so stoked. All right, here we go. Loki. That's all the news. There's other news. We'll save it for next week because we're not going to have anything. Between now and then.
Space it out Loki, a little bit. Yeah.
Breaking Brad. Great title given what.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So they go find Brad. They capture him in London. On the Sacred Island where he.
That was a real awesome showcase of like Loki's powers. That we don't get to see too often on this show.
Oh, the shadow shit. Yeah, I loved that, dude.
And like the illusions and just everything that Loki was doing. It was really cool. Like he gets to look like a total boss. Even him and Sylvie
at the end when they got together and like held hands and teamed up. That was freaking rad.
Yeah.
Right? But Brad here is an actor, Brad Wolf. I don't know if you caught this. Do you see what this is? No one.
Not right off.
That is an Eternals reference.
Oh, is that
Yeah, I can't remember his damn name. Yeah, I can't remember his damn name.
That's fun. No, I didn't recognize that. Okay.
I didn't catch it. Someone else did, and I stole it from them. Thanks, anonymous.
And you're making me feel bad about it. Fuck you.
No, I'm not. I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten it either, right?
I'm just kidding. Whatever.
So under interrogation,
who has seen the Eternals?
Yeah, right.
I'm a bit of an Eternals apologist, but yeah.
I am. I've come around to the Eternals quite a bit, dude. I have fun watching that shit. I'm not gonna.
I enjoyed it. I think it would have been a better TV show, but still.
Yeah. So under interrogation, Brad admits that he abandoned Doc's mission, which I'm not 100. I think we're not 100% sure what that mission actually is.
Well, at least part of it was like, nuking the fucking branching timelines.
Yeah, but I don't think we figured that out 100% until like the end of this episode when they're.
Yeah, I believe you're right. That was the finale.
That's what was throwing me off on episode 1. I didn't know a thing. So I really felt like I was included in the investigation, which is basically what this is. It's like a true time crimes with Mobius and Loki.
Procedural.
Yeah, like a procedural, dude. So they go to McDonald's, and they find Sylvie. Obi's trying to fix shit but can't because Miss Minutes is working for Renavir or whatever, Renslayer.
Renslayer,
and then He Who Remains is dead, so they can't open a door. So Wolf is like, or Brad is like, oh, we're in deep shit. We've got to get the hell out of here. And Sylvie and Loki kind of have this great, it's kind of, I don't know. It took forever.
Yeah, I mean, these first 2 episodes have been a lot of like picking up the pieces after all that went down in the last season. Sylvie finally has her freedom, and it is interesting. I think that like, what's she gonna do with her newfound freedom? She's gonna enjoy the hell out of working at McDonald's. Apparently,
yeah. In the '80s, it was a lot better, I'm sure, to work at McDonald's.
I'm sure it was, but like,
yeah.
I'm not even meaning that as a knock. I mean, it is interesting that like, she's just kind of enjoying the mundanity.
Simple life. Yes.
Yeah, not having to be on the run from time cops.
Yeah, right. All right, so Sylvie figures out what's going on. And again, I really liked how Loki and Sylvie kind of reunited. It was awkward and it was real and it was like all they these two actors, right? Especially Hiddleston, he's a fucking master. But the way they acted in that scene, it really, without even using a lot of dialogue, using silence, really, they just communicated so much. I thought it was just so fucking well done, dude. I was like mesmerized watching these two in McDonald's. It was
I also
wild.
like kind of like the stubbornness that Sylvie has of like, no, we're gonna wait until my break. It's in 5 minutes,
Yeah, that was cool. All right, so then they do discover that Doc's plan is to just murder billions of people by destroying all of these timelines, and that is going to fix the problem and save the TVA. They are not wrong. That is definitely going to fix the problem. I'm sure it's going to cause a new problem.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it stops the problem for now,
Yeah. So now they're still tracking Renslayer's Tempad on one of the remaining branching timelines. Sylvie returns to McDonald's with He Who Remains' Tempad in her possession, and she doesn't want to be involved any further. Again, great episode, mostly because of the acting. Even when Hiddleston, Loki, is interrogating that dude, Brad, with that cube, that growing cube thing, I thought that was a fucking great scene too.
Yeah.
Mobius and Loki eating pie was an amazingly well acted scene, dude.
I think that they're doing a good job kind of like just leaning into like, these characters, you like these characters, let's have them bounce off of each other, especially Loki and Mobius and Loki and Sylvie. I was kind of starting off the episode like, who the fuck is this guy, with Brad? But like he made the most out of his screen time because he was really engaging when he was like, getting into the heads of Mobius and into Loki, during that first round of interrogation.
Yeah, there's this one scene where he's laying down with his head, the top of his head towards the door, and he like leans up, strains his neck up so he can look, and the camera is upside down as it brings in, and it just shows, you're fucked now, dude. And there's also the reveal at the end of that interrogation that it was all a setup by Mobius and Loki. They were in on it the whole time. Just great.
Like they did pull one over on him, and that was really impressive to see.
Yeah. I think out of all of, now that I've seen 2 episodes of this second season, man, this might be my favorite of all of the Marvel shows, just because of the way it is delivered to the audience.
Loki was always on the short list, and it does seem like they are doing a great job with the season so far. I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens next.
Yeah, Jeff's really from the chat is really enjoying Loki 2. Can't wait to see Kang's variant and where it's going to go.
Well, we know that we're going to see like Victor Timely because that was the post-credit scene in Quantumania.
And I love that everything is still all connected. Everything is still doing the Marvel thing. It's always an event. It's always its own separate thing that is fun to enjoy. But the fact that everything is connected is just wonderful, dude. It's such a good time. There's nothing else like it on screens right now. I'm sorry, there's just not. I don't care what you think about this phase of the MCU. I get it. Nothing is going to be better than Endgame, than Infinity War Endgame. They worked up to that for a long time.
Yeah.
And now they're resetting and they're rebuilding. And I think they're doing a damn good job of it with this whole time travel thing and Kang. And
I do think that they are.
It just really works. So Dave's going to catch up on that and get back with us by the time the series is over.
You got homework, Dave.
Homework, Dave. All right, let's do food news.
Yummy.
Yeah, we're actually doing okay. We'll do these quick. Frankenburger, Wayback Burgers. There is one in Franklin, Tennessee, October 31st, 2023.
Oh.
It's the only day you can buy this hamburger that also has a hot dog on it.
It took me a minute to realize what I was looking at. I mean, whatever. That's whatever.
It's gross. $10.
I wouldn't want to eat it, but I feel like the hot dog is not adding much to the burger. I'd rather just have the burger, but it doesn't ruin the burger for me.
Yeah, it's $10. It's $10.
Oh, I'm not paying $10 for it.
Fuck me neither. And lastly, starting October 17th, McDonald's is bringing back the Boo Bucket. It's just a trick-or-treat bucket that you get at McDonald's. They used to sell the Happy Meals in them. Yeah. October
hit that
17th.
Fucking nostalgia button.
Get them quick. These are not going to last. Okay, they are not going to last.
No, I mean, that's fine. Right, that's cute.
Yeah. All right, one more thing. All right, we did get a preview for Cobra Commander #1. Joshua Williamson, Andrea Milano. The rise of Cobra begins here in a world where there is no Cobra. It hasn't formed yet. One man's plan to utilize the mysterious alien substance known as Energon sends shockwaves across the globe. Who is Cobra Commander? Really, that's all we got. In stores January 17th, $5. Pages look okay.
Oh, that's still a ways off. Wow.
Hey, he's donned his old snake outfit.
Yeah, he's got his old with the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he sold the people the Reploids or whatever, the replicant stuff to make when they transferred the consciousness of the Autobots into the organic bodies.
Yeah, I love that one. Their like clothing all look like they're like RC wore like pink overalls or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Cobra Commander, loving the Energon universe, and we'll have more on that when we do. All right, let's do top 3. I have got to move over some images. So it might take me a second to get this going. Man, there was some good books. Dark Droids was good. The Cull was finally good. Man, my honorable mention is I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor has this really high on his list. Wolverine #38 by Penn Percy.
That is my number 1.
Yeah, we'll wait on that. It was incredible. My number 3 this week, even though, man, it was so hard for me to pick this book. I'm sorry, my shit's lagging because I'm uploading photos because there were so many. But Avengers #6. Jed McKay, Ivan Fiorelli, pretty good. Basically a paint by number sort of fight, but
yeah, I mean this is an honorable mention for me. I'm enjoying this. I'm okay with this just being like the Shonen tournament arc.
Right.
Story that we've been getting, and all the Avengers were on the ropes. The last time we saw them. And I like the solutions they pull up with here. Like
they each pull off their own individual solution that works to their own strengths. Like Thor just knocks everybody out. That was perfect.
Like, oh, well, I guess your worshippers are out. Let's see how tough you are now.
Yeah,
and,
it was just a great.
Scarlet Witch teleports them to somewhere where there's no dead people, so he's powerless. And like Tony apparently blatantly steals from Vision's the toolkit here, and I like that they made a point of like talking about it.
Yeah, he didn't even seem to care.
Yeah. So this was fun. It was the solutions they pulled were clever enough that it was like a satisfying conclusion of the fight, and it looks like they have a new base, which is kind of neat.
And the base is AI, and it's its own like flying city. That's pretty weird. It felt like Jed McKay was just trying to get that city in there. It almost feels like he told this story to like ramp himself up into the Avengers. I mean,
hey, what else? What else do you want from a writer but to set up for future story?
Exactly.
And that looks like what he's doing here.
And I didn't like what was written for the most part, but I could not help but admit how well written it was. You know what I mean? You're right. Every hero and every villain, the matchup was great. Their solutions were wonderful. The pacing was just awesome, going blah blah blah. But yeah, Avengers #6. Taylor, honorable mentions. Avengers, you said Avengers.
Avengers was an honorable mention. Honorable mention for Capwolf and the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, that's my number 2 actually. So yeah, we can wait on that.
I'm an easy lay for these World War II stories.
This surprised the shit out of me. So yeah.
Honorable mention for Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically, we have established like what the story is going to be for the next little while here, because like the Guardians, apparently, when you get absorbed by Grootfall, apparently you just become part of it. It doesn't actually kill you. And so, they're going to defend it from his dickhead sister. So, that'll be interesting. Already mentioned Avengers. My number 3 this week is Wesley Dodds, The Sandman, number 1.
Yeah, this was good. I think this was...
It's a real blast from the past week with the World War II Cap story. And
it was almost too old for me, too old school for me.
I like the art here especially. Like a lot of the like the actual like cartooniness of it, I can kind of take or leave, but like the page layouts were brilliant for most of this issue. And I am a sucker for like these old Golden Age heroes who don't get a lot of screen time, I'm looking forward to the Flash book that's coming out. I'm looking forward to the Green Lantern book that's coming out, and I had a lot of fun with this. it's a little exposition-y from time to time, which is
First
fair for a
issue
character
syndrome.
like
Yeah,
and
but
that's
he's
fair for a character like
very
this. Like,
noir character. So
yeah,
there's going to be a
most
lot
of the
of
people,
right.
it does make sense. He is a very noir character, and this is also a character where most people are going to pick this up having no fucking idea who this is.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of room for this character to grow into a more modern age. Like he's talking about like the golden age of heroes hasn't even happened yet. You know,
I like that this character. I think this character fits well with like the old 1940s like setting. So
yeah.
I like this sort of thing. So I'm not going to push too hard to sell you on it. This is right in my wheelhouse, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
100. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I didn't have a bad time reading it, but yeah. Dave, honorable mentions.
All right. Honorable mentions. The first one is Batman City of Madness.
Yeah, this is drawn very, very well.
Excellent artwork. It's got if you want a Batman with a Lovecraftian twist to it, this is it.
Oh yeah, it looks very Arkham Asylum. Like
yeah, it's creepy, dude.
I can't remember the guy who drew that, but yeah, it definitely gives me that energy.
Yeah, I thought it was Lieber Mayho.
It's not him.
No, this is not Lieber Mayho.
He wrote Joker.
Yeah, he did Joker.
Cool.
My next honorable mention is Space Usagi.
Yeah, I have that somewhere.
Essentially,
That's exactly what it sounds like.
The descendants of Usagi Yojimbo are reading a story, but they're in a future.
Yeah.
they're reading a manga based on their ancestor. It's like, if your ancestor was here, he would tell you to study hard.
Yeah.
Go to space. Artwork.
He'll go to space.
Yes, artwork was fantastic. Stan Sakai will always deliver on Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, for sure.
And my last honorable mention is Wesley Dodds, the Sandman.
Nice, good shout out, good one.
So
just good pulpy old school throwback.
Yeah, just nice. If you like those old fashioned books, like the Green Hornet, this is definitely in that vein.
Yeah, good one.
My number 3 book this week is actually Knights 1.
Knights. I had an image of that, but it didn't load. Maybe I got a bad one.
It is. This may be fully coolly in comic book form.
Yeah, I couldn't get into this.
This is like on one of these. This is like an insane just story going on. Like, this boy has come to live with his adopted family. The girl is a vampire. We have a vampire hunter, a youth pastor.
It's weird, dude.
It's just a whole lot of stuff going on, but it is. There are moments where it's just like hilarious. Like, did I just read that? And then there are moments that make me think that I am reading Fooly Cooley, a comic book.
Fooly Cooley is a bit of an acquired taste, I will say.
But there are moments in this book that make me that the vampire character makes me think of Haru.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't get into it, just not my thing. But yeah, it looked good. Cool, good shout out. That's to me, Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos, number 1. I like this because, all right, first off, it was a bummer that we didn't get Cap Wolf until the last page. Total bummer. Okay, this is Stephanie Phillips and Carlos Magno, but they know what they're doing because the relationships going on here are awesome. Everything feels just really genuine with the dialogue and the way Dum Dum Dugan is like, he kind of doesn't like Captain America.
No, I mean, Dum Dum's being a real asshole about it for most of this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of like his explanation for it, though. He's like, yeah, this dude can jump in front of a tank, but he's going to get us shot at,
He did. I think he could have been a little more impressed when Captain America tore a fucking tank apart in front of him. Right. That being said, I do get it. This is like, they're in the middle of a war. These are guys who have like been through this shit together. And now some like new guy not only is there, but is like in charge, But
yeah. And it also is a testament to Nick Fury, as a leader, for sure.
It is, yeah, it absolutely is. So I totally believe it. Like, it is very well written. I love the setup here, and like, yeah, we get these awesome like giant splash pages like this that you've been showing, and just
man, that's what I like about it. It was big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It felt like this was first and foremost a World War II story, which I do love that type of thing. And then, we get the horror coming in at the very last part of the book here with like the werewolf showed up just like a couple of pages before our big cliffhanger here.
Yeah, and there's also like Nazi like witches doing their thing and shit, you know. Yeah, dude.
Nazi occultism.
We get fucking Nazi occultism. We get like werewolves. We get like legitimately cool like World War II battles and everything here. So like, there's a lot to like here.
Yeah, it is a whole lot to like. I was really surprised about how much fun I had with this. Dark Droids, number I think 3 was gonna be my number 2 pick because they rip Vader. The droids rip Vader out of the back of the tank, and he still fucks them all up without any armor or shit. It was a great moment. But yeah, dude, I couldn't leave Cap Wolf off of there, and Avengers just read better. So. Man, yeah, great book. Cap Wolf was dope, dude. Dope. Taylor, number
2. X-Men Red, number what number was it? 16.
I think it's 16. Yeah.
Yep.
Not bad. Not bad.
It was a lot of fun.
I mean, the end of this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool seeing Storm once again just be like total boss. Like, it was cool seeing. This was really the first time we've ever seen Pestilence really do anything, and he has a really cool display of power. But Storm just comes in and fucking dunks all over them. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I loved her dunking over the. I mean, she dunked over one of them with love, like because they were a hookup previously.
Oh yeah, I mean, fucking.
That's like one of her powers is dope relationships. It really is.
Death is horny for Storm, and that plays in a lot to the plot of this issue.
It really does. And I love that setup. They've been setting that shit up since the damn swords thing, dude. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a lot of good pullbacks in general because it was a good pullback to Judgment Day with like we could sick Uranos on these motherfuckers, and like that's a big moral quagmire that they're having to go through right now. And we also see.
Yeah,
it's also cool seeing Apocalypse show at the end. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do see Apocalypse, but they're like we're not stooping down to the fucking Eternals. We're not going to stoop that low. I like that a lot too.
It was very well handled. It's really cool to see, and it does add a lot of weight to it. Like. We do have basically a nuke that we could throw at these guys, but it is unconscionable, like using it,
Yeah. Yeah. Good story. Honestly, man, I don't know. I've been loving the Krakoan age, but since the fall of X was announced and now it's going through, they've just had announcement after announcement after announcement. Like we're getting a new editor. 2024 is all different for the X-Men. Now we got these new books with the fall.
We are sort of in a lame duck section.
Yeah, that's exactly the right word for it, dude.
That's a fair point. But that being said, a lot of these books seem to be going out in a blaze of glory, and I've enjoyed X-Men Red this whole time. I love Sword before it, this whole time. So.
Oh, dude, I thought Sword was better than X-Men Red. It was dope, but yeah, there was a lot more going on.
They're basically the same books.
There was so much more going on. Mysterium and more circuits, more mutant circuits, and fucking Abigail Brand. Oh my god.
Abigail Brand is like the baddest bitch, yeah.
Yeah, she got to come back to this at some point.
I'm sure she will. I mean, I guess Fisher has her tucked away somewhere. I guess that might come into play soon.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, good book. All right, Dave, number 2 this week.
Cull number 3.
The Cull?
The Cull number 3.
This shit got crazy,
interesting quickly.
Dude, what the? All right,
the
Dave,
girls
you want to explain
most of the gang gets
on,
power.
Do you want me? Yeah, somehow this portal.
Gomer will do it faster. Let Gomer do it.
Yeah, this portal that they went through, right, is a magical world that takes them parts of them to learn and become whatever it is, but it also they become part of this. So they all sort of change and have like weird superpowers now. Like one girl can control plants, one dude can control animals, this bitch can fly, one of the chicks can like
shoot lasers.
Shoot lasers out her damn eyes, and like she knows where everything is.
And then there's the one girl who didn't get a power, and the Red Panda people got really pissy about it.
Yeah, like she has some sort of darkness in her or something.
Yeah, they were like, you are unfit to be part of our hive mind, and they were going to try to kill her, and all her friends step in, and so
with their new powers,
and so they make their way. Because they asked the Red Panda creature about, have they seen the brother? And they're like, we don't know about this person that's in here because we know everything in our world because of the hive mind.
That's why they're there. They're looking for this kid.
They're looking for the kid, but they fight their way back to the portal, and I think we're about to pick up where the book started originally in issue 1.
Yeah, where there's like weird shit happening in the real world because this other world, this portal world, is sort of now drifting into our world. Yeah, this book weird as hell. It's interesting. It's entertaining as hell. The art is just beautiful, but yeah, it's weird, dude. It's weird, but like in the best way. In the best way. Yes, definitely a good call out. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave and I have the same number one. My number one this week is Midlife number 1, or How to Hero at 50. No, Dave. Brian Buccellato, Stefano Simeone.
I did enjoy this book, but it did not make my number 1.
Yeah. So this book's wonderful. It really spoke to me. It's just like the solicit said. It's about a firefighter who's 50 years old, turning 50. He's scared of fire. You know, he works like as a paper jockey, desk jockey, whatever. But then by accident, he discovers that he is actually fireproof. But the book is really more about hitting midlife, you know, hating your job and your shitty kids and your family, you know, your bad family, and just life in general, you know. Brian Buccellato said in the ending notes to the reader in this book is an attempt to put a middle-aged guy like us in the boots of a superhero, someone who looks back at his history and isn't sure if he lived his best life and wonders if it's too late to try. And yeah, dude, that just spoke to me. The book really communicated that so well in a few different ways. It talks about generational gaps and differences, and yeah, just really fucking great book, dude. There's really no other way to put it. You know, it was just a really, really solid book. And really yeah, again, it's probably because I'm old as shit.
But yeah,
you are old as shit.
It was really good first issue. There were a lot of there were a lot of like, you know, points that really, you know, struck a chord.
Yeah.
But it was a good read. I'm definitely looking forward to issue 2.
Yeah, me too. Cool. All right, that was my number 1. Taylor, I think you already mentioned Wolverine number, what are we up to? 38. Great one shot. Just a beautiful one shot.
Yeah, I mean, so this current arc appears to be Wolverine is having all these like one and done team ups. And last week it was Hulk, or last issue it was Hulk, and now for this one it is Cap. And for one thing, these books are always just a fuck ton of fun. Like, it's Wolverine, like, going into these places. Like, he's going to, like, an auction cruise liner here.
And this is a throwback, too.
Yeah, these are some bad guys that we've seen before, and we're picking up where they left off there. And it's also cool to see, like, yeah, like, it's really cool to see, like, Sinister's, like, turtle and cat computers and, like, the, like, Krakoan battle suit and all that shit.
Yeah, adamant surfboard, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Not even a little bit.
Moira's there, dead Moira's there somehow. What?
Yeah, apparently a Moira that you can't use to reset the timeline, but hey, whatever. So useless.
Sure. Rip does great shit with the art here.
But yeah, this is like the page I knew you were going to show here. Where like Wolverine, just like the fucking montage of him like slashing his way to the bottom of the boat to just fucking sink the whole thing at once.
I love it.
But the thing that makes this my number 1 is, in addition to it being like fucking awesome and amazing artwork and just, you know, balls to the wall action, Percy has a talent for getting at the core of not just Wolverine, but a lot of these other characters who show up. He does an excellent job explaining why Cap and Wolverine make for an excellent pairing. They're both like these guys who are from
came out of the same
eras.
Program. Like they came out of the same program.
Yeah, they're both like, he makes a point of saying like they're both like government super soldiers who were like, you know what, like experimented on and unleashed on the world, but like where they have all these similarities, but also they kind of ended up in the exact opposite mindset where like Cap is like intrinsically a good person and he uses his past to fuel him to, you know, be an icon for good. Whereas Wolverine is just like this.
It's like haunted by his past.
Yeah.
His trauma and uses it
like,
because he can only be bad. Yeah.
They have this cool equal and opposite kind of relation going on, but they still work really well together. He talks about how like they balance each other out and like they intrinsically trust each other. And this takes it from just being kind of like, oh, well, that's fun. It's Cap and Wolverine like going off and kicking ass together, to it being more than that. Like Percy has this talent where he takes these ideas and he goes into the depths of it and comes out with something amazing. You know?
Yeah, 100. I couldn't have said it better, dude. Just a fantastic book. Juan Jose Rip is killing it on this book.
Oh, absolutely. Like, regardless of anything else, every one of these issues is going to be a fucking feast for the eyes.
Yeah, I just love his art so much. So, yeah, dude, great book, man. Just honestly, because I retired Wolverine because it's so good, but it probably would have been my number one this week. It was amazing. It was really good. All right, Dave, wrap it for us, buddy. What we got?
Alrighty. Operation Sunshine #1.
Yeah, I knew you were going to pick this. Where is it? There it is. This is okay. I had a good time with it.
I really enjoy it. Marcus Parks knows his stuff. His comic book. Marcus Parks.
And this is the last podcast on the left or whatever.
These are two of the current hosts of the last podcast on the left. Henry Zabrowski and Marcus Parks. Marcus Parks is generally responsible for a lot of the research and the script of the podcast, and Henry is the comedy, but Marcus Parks knows his comic books. He is a big fan of the Invisibles. So, I mean, he loves the Invisibles. But we have the story of these two vampires who were turned, they were turned into vampires because there's a term they use in the book denoting original vampires or vampires who were birthed, not turned.
Right. Like pure blood.
Pure blood
pure
vampires.
Blood. Yeah.
And it's essentially the third character, our third character, who is also a pure blood vampire, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. He gives off like this very Dracula vibe, but it's just, it does have like some fun with the lore, in vampire lore,
right?
But because there's like a lot of different elements, like that one vampire movie that had like Ethan Hawke in it, where everybody in the world was a vampire, pretty much.
Well, I think that was Gattaca. You mean Gattaca?
No, not Gattaca.
That's the same concept.
Fucking whatever, guys. Keep going.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
But our character on the cover here, her name is Hex, and she's been she called herself like a blood bug. Which is denoting yourself as a lower vampire.
Yeah, lower class vampire. Yeah.
But she's been a vampire for over 100 years, really, and she's just tired of it. But she's got to survive. And she meets this other vampire who hasn't been a vampire very long, named Steve, and he's trying to still maintain like his human existence, but it's not working out for him. And so our original vampire has basically conducted a ritual and sent all this to send the information to the best people to take care of the task, and it ends up with Steve and Hex. And they are going to find a relic that can turn them back into humans.
Yeah. That's the gist of it.
That's the gist of it. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I knew you were going to pick this. I know you're a big fan of this creative team, just from the other stuff that they do. So, I mean, it was written well. It was written really well. I get, the story. It's a really good story. It's actually a really interesting sort of take on class. Classism. That's what I took from it. But I probably will read more of it, to be honest.
Well, that's good.
We did it, guys. We got through the New York Comic Con
good work, team.
Let's wrap it.
Yay.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Check out the Bullies. Comic Book Bullies do a show just like this one, but different. Go check them out on this channel and others. Go to outrightgeeky.com for links on everything that they've got going on and everything that we've got going on. We would really appreciate it. Last comment over here. Great show. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
We freaking appreciate it, dude. Thanks for stopping by, as always. We'll be back tomorrow to do another show with all the previews. Come check that out. Go to the group on Facebook. You can find that at the link. No bullying in the group. No bullying in the group. Awesome. See you tomorrow, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Always fun.
Indeed.
And we're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Man, tired.
Well, they had a marathon session today,
Yeah.